Hey everyone, welcome back to Level Up Switch. I'm Matt, and today we're diving into the ultimate list of the top 20 best single-player games on the Nintendo Switch. Whether you're into epic RPGs, thrilling platformers, or emotionally gripping indies, this list is packed with unforgettable solo adventures that'll keep you glued to your Switch for hundreds of hours. So grab your Joy-Cons, settle in, and let's level up your library with some must-play masterpieces that deserve a spot in every Switch collection. Kicking things off is one of the greatest modern JRPGs, Dragon Quest XI EAS, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Definitive Edition. This isn't just a port, it's the ultimate version with new story content, quality of life improvements, and even a 2D mode that lets you play it like a 2 classic SNES RPG. The gorgeous cel-shaded visuals bring Akira Toriyama's iconic character designs to life, while the orchestrated soundtrack creates an epic atmosphere. Combat is turn-based perfection, accessible for newcomers but with enough depth for veterans. What really makes this game special, though, is its heartwarming story and lovable cast. From the silent hero to companions like Eric and Sylvando, these characters will stay with you long after the credits roll. With easily 80-plus hours of content and side quests that actually feel meaningful, Dragon Quest EAS represents everything great about traditional JRPGs while feeling thoroughly modern. It's a masterclass in refining rather than reinventing a beloved formula. Up next, Dead Cells, a roguelite action platformer that blends intense combat with a constantly evolving map. Every run feels fresh thanks to its procedural design and wide arsenal of weapons and powers. It's brutal, fast-paced, and endlessly replayable. The kind of game where death only makes you stronger. What sets Dead Cells apart is how incredible it feels to play. The fluid animations, responsive controls, and satisfying combat create this perfect loop of challenging gameplay. You'll die, unlock new abilities or weapons, and jump right back in for just one more run that turns into 3 hours of gameplay. The pixel art is gorgeous with vibrant colors and detailed environments that somehow make a decaying prison island look beautiful. And the developers at Motion Twin haven't stopped supporting it. Years after release, they're still adding free updates and content packs that expand this already massive game. Whether you've got 15 minutes or 5 hours, Dead Cells adapts perfectly to your playtime, making it ideal for the Switch's portable nature. If you're craving a 16-bit style RPG with modern polish, Chained Echoes is a hidden gem you need to try. It combines deep storytelling, strategic turn-based combat, and gorgeous pixel art to create an experience that rivals classics like Chrono Trigger, plus mechs. What's not to love? This is a passion project in the best way possible. Created primarily by one developer over 7 years, it shows in every pixel and story beat. The combat system is brilliantly unique with its tension meter that forces you to constantly adapt your strategy, rather than spamming your best moves. What really elevates Chained Echoes is its mature storytelling that tackles complex themes while still maintaining that sense of adventure. Characters feel like real people with flaws and growth arcs rather than the typical RPG archetypes. And the world building is top tier, blending fantasy with steampunk elements in a way that feels cohesive and fresh. For a game that looks like it could have existed on the SNES, it implements so many quality of life features that make it a joy to play in 2025. No random encounters, fast travel from the beginning, and a perfect difficulty curve that respects your time while still providing a challenge. If you've been looking for that perfect blend of nostalgia and innovation, Chained Echoes delivers in spades. Speaking of classics, Lunar Remastered Collection brings back 2 legendary JRPGs with enhanced visuals and sound. These games are packed with heart, humor, and some of the best character development of the 90s. If you're a fan of classic storytelling, this one's a time-traveling treasure. For those who missed these gems the first time around, Lunar, Silver Star Story, and Eternal Blue originally released on the Sega CD and PlayStation. They were revolutionary for their time with fully animated cutscenes, voice acting, and emotionally resonant stories about love, friendship, and adventure. What makes this collection special is how it preserves the charm of the originals while making them more accessible for modern players. The remastered artwork keeps the original style but with higher resolution and smoother animations. The soundtracks have been carefully enhanced without losing their nostalgic melodies, and the option to switch between original and remastered audio is a nice touch. From the hauntingly beautiful world of Ender Lilies comes its spiritual successor, Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist. This atmospheric Metroidvania combines fluid combat with stunning art and music. It's emotionally heavy, mechanically tight, and visually captivating. A must for fans of Hollow Knight-style adventures. The game takes place in a broken world, consumed by a mysterious contamination called the Mist. You play as Lilium, a young girl with the power to purify corrupted spirits and gain their abilities. The gameplay loop of exploring, defeating bosses, and absorbing their powers creates this perfect sense of progression. What truly sets Ender Magnolia apart is its haunting atmosphere. The hand-drawn art style uses muted colors and delicate line work to create environments that feel both beautiful and melancholic. This is complemented perfectly by a soundtrack that blends classical piano with atmospheric elements to create something truly emotional. Dragon's Dogma on Switch might be a bit of an underdog, but it delivers a dark fantasy RPG unlike anything else. The pawn system lets you recruit custom companions, and the real-time combat feels surprisingly fresh. Climbing a giant cyclops to stab it in the face? Always satisfying. This cult classic from Capcom originally released in 2012, but it's aged remarkably well thanks to its unique systems. The game drops you into a vast open world as the Arisen, a chosen hero who must reclaim their heart from a dragon. What follows is a gritty fantasy adventure that feels like a blend of Dark Souls, Shadow of the Colossus, and classic RPGs. The standout feature is definitely the pawn system. AI companions that you can create and customize or borrow from other players online. These pawns learn from your gameplay style and provide helpful advice based on their experiences. It creates this fascinating shared knowledge system that makes exploration feel collaborative, even in a single-player game. Yes, Red Dead Redemption is now on Switch, and it's surprisingly great. Step into the boots of John Marston as he battles his past in this open-world Western epic. Rockstar's storytelling shines here with a gritty, cinematic experience that holds up beautifully on Nintendo's hybrid console. Set in the dying days of the American frontier, this game perfectly captures that transition period when the Wild West was being tamed by the relentless march of civilization. John Marston's story as a former outlaw forced to hunt down his old gang members is still one of gaming's most compelling narratives. The open world of New Austin and Mexico feels genuinely alive, with random encounters, wildlife to hunt, and strangers to meet, each with their own mini-stories that range from darkly humorous to deeply tragic. Side activities like poker, horseshoes, and bounty hunting provide satisfying breaks from the main story. Samus is back, and better than ever in Metroid Dread. This game is pure tension and smooth gameplay, with tight controls and a mysterious atmosphere. It's a modern return to the 2D roots of the franchise, and easily one of the best action games on the system. After a 19-year wait for a new 2D Metroid, Mercury Steam delivered a game that honors the legacy while pushing it forward. The core exploration-based gameplay remains. You'll gradually unlock new abilities that open paths to previously inaccessible areas, but everything feels refined to perfection. The EMMI zones add a new layer of horror to the formula. These robotic hunters create genuine moments of panic as they relentlessly pursue Samus through designated areas. Unlike most enemies that you can blast away, these require stealth or specific power-ups to defeat, creating a cat-and-mouse dynamic that keeps you on edge. Then there's Metroid Prime Remastered, a stunning revival of the GameCube classic. First-person exploration, immersive world-building, and one of the best soundtracks in gaming make this an essential play. Retro Studios nailed the remaster. This is how you bring a classic to a new audience. When Metroid Prime first released in 2002, it accomplished the seemingly impossible task of translating Metroid's essence into 3D. This remaster doesn't just preserve that achievement, it enhances it with modernized controls, gorgeous updated visuals, and subtle improvements that make it feel like a contemporary release. Talon 4 remains one of gaming's most well-designed worlds. The way each area connects to others creates this satisfying sense of discovery as you backtrack with new abilities. The environmental storytelling is masterful. Scanning objects in ruins reveals the tragic history of the Chozo civilization, and the space pirate invasion without interrupting gameplay. Here's one for fans of story-driven strategy. The 100 Line. Last Defense Academy offers a unique tactical gameplay loop mixed with a visual novel narrative. You train students, battle monsters, and uncover dark secrets, all while managing your team's survival in a collapsing world. This under-the-radar tactical RPG takes inspiration from games like Fire Emblem and Persona, but carves out its own unique identity. Set in a world where mysterious creatures called specters threaten humanity, you play as an instructor at an academy training the next generation of defenders. The game's structure alternates between academy life, where you build relationships with students, develop their skills, and uncover their personal stories, and tactical grid-based combat missions against increasingly dangerous threats. What makes it special is how these systems interconnect. The bonds you form with students directly impact their performance in battle, and the choices you make can mean life or death for your squad.
We're dead if we lose here, right? If this is what it takes to stop that, then I'll fight too!
Don't worry.
Shin Megami Tensei 5. Vengeance is the definitive way to experience this post-apocalyptic demon summoning RPG. It adds a new story path, updated mechanics, and even more depth to an already complex combat system. If you like your RPGs dark, challenging, and philosophical, this is your game. The Vengeance Edition takes the original SMTV and expands it substantially. The core experience remains. You play as a high school student who finds himself transformed into a Nahobino, a fusion of human and demon, in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo called Dad. What follows is a journey across this ruined landscape as you negotiate with battle and fuse demons, while choosing between different factions fighting for the world's future. The combat system is turn-based but incredibly dynamic, thanks to the press turn system, where exploiting enemy weaknesses grants extra actions. Every battle feels like a puzzle to solve, requiring strategic thinking rather than grinding. The demon negotiation system adds another layer of depth. Convincing demons to join your party through conversation requires understanding their personalities and answering their often absurd questions appropriately. Shin Megami Tensei 5. Vengeance is the definitive way to experience this post-apocalyptic demon summoning RPG. It adds a new story path, updated mechanics, and even more depth to an already complex combat system. If you like your RPGs dark, challenging, and philosophical, this is your game. The Vengeance Edition takes the original SMTV and expands it substantially. The core experience remains. You play as a high school student who finds himself transformed into a Nahobino, a fusion of human and demon, in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo called Dad. What follows is a journey across this ruined landscape as you negotiate with battle and fuse demons, while choosing between different factions fighting for the world's future. The combat system is turn-based but incredibly dynamic thanks to the press turn system, where exploiting enemy weaknesses grants extra actions. Every battle feels like a puzzle to solve, requiring strategic thinking rather than grinding. The demon negotiation system adds another layer of depth. Convincing demons to join your party through conversation requires understanding their personalities and answering their often absurd questions appropriately. After years of waiting, Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door is finally back. This remaster preserves the quirky humor, turn-based battles, and charming paper art style of the original. It's funny, heartfelt, and a reminder of why this entry is considered the best in the series. This GameCube classic has been lovingly restored with enhanced visuals while maintaining its distinctive paper aesthetic. Everything in the world embraces the paper theme. Characters flip and fold during battle, environments have pop-up book elements, and your paper-thin hero can slip through cracks by turning sideways. The story follows Mario as he searches for 7 crystal stars in the mysterious port town of Rogueport and its surrounding areas. What makes this adventure special is its cast of characters. Instead of the usual Mario suspects, you're accompanied by unique partners with distinct personalities and backstories. From the scholarly Goomba Professor Goombella to the theatrical former Shadow Siren Vivian, these companions add emotional depth to the journey. Let's talk about Celeste. This indie platformer is a masterpiece of game design and storytelling. The precision platforming is challenging but fair, and the story about mental health and perseverance hits hard. Add in a gorgeous soundtrack and pixel-perfect art, and you've got a modern classic. On the surface, Celeste is a game about climbing a mountain. You play as Madeline, a young woman determined to reach the summit of Celeste Mountain, despite her lack of climbing experience. The controls are simple. You can jump, air dash, and climb walls in a limited time. The way these mechanics combine creates a deeply satisfying platform experience. What elevates Celeste beyond just being a great platformer is how it intertwines gameplay with narrative. As Madeline struggles with anxiety and self-doubt on her journey upward, the increasingly difficult platforming is mirror her internal struggles. Meeting characters like the enigmatic old Queen Granny and Ghost Theo adds emotional weight to what could have been a straightforward climbing adventure. Persona 5. Royal brings its stylish mix of RPG dungeon crawling and daily life simulation to the Switch. And it runs like a dream. The characters, the music, the story, everything is top tier. It's a massive game that'll take over 100 hours, and you'll enjoy every minute. This enhanced version of Persona 5 adds substantial new content to an already massive game. You play as a high school student who discovers the ability to enter the metaverse, a supernatural realm created by people's distorted desires. Together with your friends, you form the Phantom Thieves, a group dedicated to stealing the corrupted hearts of adults abusing their power. The game brilliantly balances 2 distinct gameplay styles. By day, you live the life of a Tokyo student, attending classes, taking exams, working part-time jobs, and building relationships with a colorful cast of characters. By night, you infiltrate elaborate cognitive palaces, fighting shadows in turn-based combat, and navigating mind-bending puzzles. If you're into massive worlds and deep combat systems, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 delivers. It's the most refined entry in the series, with an emotional story, excellent voice acting, and jaw-dropping environments. It's one of the most ambitious RPGs on the Switch. Set in the world of Ionios, the game follows soldiers Noah and Mio from opposing nations who are locked in an eternal conflict. In this world, people live only 10 years, with their sole purpose being to fight for their nation and feed the flame clock with the life force of their enemies. When a chance encounter brings enemies together, they discover the truth behind their world's cruel system and set out to break the cycle. The combat system represents years of refinement, taking elements from previous Xenoblade games and combining them into something accessible yet deep. You can freely switch between characters in your 6-person party, each with unique roles and abilities. The class system allows characters to learn skills from each other, creating nearly endless customization options.
It's in our eyes. It will never replace the friends we've lost. The flame clock, it has to go!
JRPG fans, rejoice! Suikoden I and 2i HD Remaster brings back two of the most beloved RPGs of all time, with modern visual updates and quality-of-life tweaks. Recruiting 108 characters, building your base, and experiencing these legendary stories is now smoother and more beautiful than ever. The Suikoden series has long held a special place in JRPG history for its political storytelling, massive cast of characters, and war-focused narratives that differ from typical save-the-world plots. These remasters preserve what made the originals special while making them more accessible to modern players. Suikoden I tells the story of the son of a great general who finds himself leading a liberation army against the corrupt Scarlet Moon Empire, which his father serves. Suikoden 2, widely considered one of the greatest RPGs ever made, follows the tale of two friends torn apart by war, with one rising to lead a resistance movement against a genocidal mad prince. You knew it was coming. Hollow Knight. This indie metroidvania is a masterpiece in world design, challenge, and atmosphere. With hand-drawn art and deep lore, it's a game that rewards exploration and mastery. It's also just $15, and easily worth 10 times that. Team Cherry's debut game drops you into the decaying insect kingdom of Hallownest with minimal explanation. Armed with just a nail, sword, and the ability to heal by focusing soul energy, you're left to explore this vast, interconnected world at your own pace. What begins as a simple journey deepens into an emotionally resonant tale of sacrifice, infection, and the cost of preserving a dying kingdom. The gameplay strikes a perfect balance between accessibility and depth. Basic combat is straightforward. Slash enemies with your nail and avoid their attacks. But the charm system allows for extensive customization of your playstyle. Want to focus on spellcasting? There are charms for that. Prefer a more aggressive approach with your nail? There are charms for that too. Coming back in full force, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Definitive Edition finally gives Switch players the massive, mecha-filled world of Mira. Explore alien landscapes, fight colossal monsters, and unlock skells. Giant combat mechs. It's like a sci-fi fever dream with hundreds of hours of gameplay. Unlike the more linear, story-focused entries in the series, Xenoblade Chronicles X emphasizes open-world exploration above all else. After Earth is destroyed in an alien crossfire, the last survivors crash land on the mysterious planet Mira. As a member of Blade, your mission is to explore this uncharted world, find the scattered pieces of your colony ship, and search for other survivors. The world of Mira is divided into 5 massive continents, each with distinct ecosystems and indigenous life forms. From the bioluminescent night forests of Noctilum to the bizarre hovering land masses of Sylvalum, each region is filled with creatures ranging from docile herbivores to towering tyrants that will destroy unprepared players in seconds. The sense of scale is unmatched. You'll regularly see level 80 behemoths wandering peacefully while you, a tiny level 15 human, quietly slip past.
I am here to purge the universe of your disease, once and for all.
And finally, no list of single-player Switch games would be complete without The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild and its sequel, Tears of the Kingdom. These open-world adventures redefine what's possible in a game, with unmatched freedom, creativity, and discovery. Breath of the Wild stripped away decades of Zelda conventions to create something revolutionary. After waking from a 100-year slumber, Link emerges into a vast open world where you can go anywhere you can see from the very beginning. The game trusts players completely, offering minimal tutorials and instead encouraging experimentation with its interlocking systems. The physics engine allows for creative problem solving that the developers themselves didn't anticipate. Need to cross a gap? You could build a bridge, glide across, or create an elaborate chain of metal objects to conduct electricity. Every puzzle has multiple solutions limited only by your imagination. And there you have it. 20 of the absolute best single-player experiences on the Nintendo Switch. From epic RPGs to challenging platformers, atmospheric metroidvanias to open-world adventures, this console has built an incredible library that truly offers something for everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our weekly Switch content. Drop a comment below with your favorite single-player Switch game. I love hearing your recommendations too. I'm Matt, and this is Level Up Switch. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay awesome, Switch players.